What's going on, guys? Welcome back once again for another unboxing and review. This time we are unboxing and taking a look at the new NECA Toys Halloween 2 set. That is the Ultimate Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis. So stick around, guys. My name is Matt, and this is the Pop Complex. Guys, welcome back once again to the Pop Complex. Again, we are taking a look at the NECA Toys Ultimate Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis 2-pack. So this set is just recently came out, and it marks the 40th anniversary of Halloween 2 as of 2021, because Halloween 2 was released in 1981, and it continues the story of the night that he came home. So this story takes place the same night as the original 1978 Halloween film, and it chronicles Laurie's struggle in the hospital, the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, that night as Michael wreaks havoc in the hospital. So let's take a closer look at the box art. We have the original movie artwork. We have the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital here in the background, and we have a rear shot of Laurie as she was portrayed in the film, crawling toward the entrance of the hospital, trying to call out for help. And there we have Michael in the background, bleeding his blood tears from the scene, the iconic scene at the last 5 minutes of the film, which this set does recreate. And we'll take a closer look here. At the top of the box, we have that classic Halloween 2 logo on the top. And as well there on the side, and on the other side as well in reverse. But on the back here, we have some really nice photography of the figures themselves. As you can see here in the middle, we have the Dr. Loomis figure, and we have Michael in the background, just with the plain head without the blood tears, a side profile shot with him holding the knife. We have the blood tears alternate head here, and we have Dr. Loomis facing down Michael. And then we also have the flame effect from the end of the film when Michael walks out of the room and he was on fire. But we'll open up this front flap here, guys, and take a closer look. First, we'll take a look at that inner artwork here, the inner photography on the inner flap. We have two different shots of Michael and two different shots of the Loomis figure. Here we have the Michael with the blood tears head being shown, and we have Dr. Loomis here in his suit without the jacket on. The jacket is removable, but we'll get into that whenever I unbox this and take a closer look. And here is Michael pre-blood tears, before he was shot in the eyes, and he is holding the knife there. And then we finally have Dr. Loomis holding his revolver and in his trench coat. So flipping around and taking a look at the figures themselves in the packaging. First look, guys, they look pretty good. The likenesses look really good. Here is Michael, as you can see, with the Halloween 2 style mask. Now, a little film trivia here, a little film information. This actually was the same painted William Shatner mask that was used in the first 1978 Halloween film. But it had aged just a little bit in the 2 to 3 years from the first to the second film. And also, Nick Castle portrayed Michael Myers in the first 1978 Halloween film, but in this film he was portrayed by Dick Warlock. So Dick Warlock did have a wider head and face, so the mask does fit differently on Dick Warlock rather than Nick Castle. So we have a little bit of a wider face look for the mask in this film, as opposed to Michael's mask in the first 78 Halloween film. And as you can see, we have the blood tears mask here. You can see in the background behind Michael, we have all of those flame effects that do attach to him. And we have some different hands here for Michael. We have the classic Halloween 2 skull within the pumpkin from the actual, like the movie poster. We have Loomis in his trench coat, He has 2 revolvers here. I'm not sure exactly why he was packaged with 2 when he only uses 1 in the film. There might be a slight difference there, but I'm going to take a closer look at that when I get him out of the package. He does come with an alternate hand that you can see right here, holding the lighter that he used to basically explode the hospital room at the end of the film in the last 5 minutes. And you can see some accessories here. Michael does come with the long serrated edge knife, the hammer, the scalpel that he uses in the final scene, and the syringe, the needle syringe that he used throughout the film. Now, these accessories that Michael comes with are the same exact accessories that the Ultimate Halloween 2 Michael Myers came with from a couple of years ago. NECA issued a Halloween 2 style Ultimate Michael by himself, just on his own as a single figure, and I have that figure in my collection, guys. If you want to check that out, along with my other NECA horror figure collection, take a look at that. I'm going to link that down in the description, but really quick, you can take a look at that. But this Michael seems to be maybe the same body sculpt, but definitely an improved mask sculpt on both of these here. And as you can see, guys, this is the first time that we're actually getting an Ultimate Dr. Loomis that does not have the cloth trench coat. Now, he was issued previously in a 2-pack with Laurie Strode in her hospital gown. That 2-pack actually has the cloth clothes. So Laurie had a cloth hospital gown and Loomis had the cloth trench coat. But this is the first time we're getting Loomis with the plastic molded trench coat. And so I just thought that would be interesting to note that this is the first time we get actually either of these 2 figures. So that's basically all I can see here without opening the packaging, guys. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. All right, guys, and we are back. We have Dr. Loomis and the Ultimate Michael Myers from Halloween 2 unboxed out of the packaging. And first glance, I do like what I'm seeing as far as the detail, the accessories, and the sculpting. So we'll take a closer look here. We'll take a look at Dr. Loomis first. Take a closer look at the detail in his face. Seems to be a very spot-on likeness of the great Donald Pleasance, who portrayed Dr. Loomis actually through the original Halloween franchise up through Halloween 6 in 1995. But there he is in all of his sculpted plastic glory there, Donald Pleasance. You can actually just almost hear him speaking his lines in his distinctive British cadence. But anyway, here's the coat, guys. It is a flexible, rubbery plastic overcoat, trench coat. We'll flip it around to the back. You can see the detail and all of the sculpting on the fabric and the wrinkles and creases in the coat. But I'll open that up, and this is actually removable, guys, so I'll show you that here in just a second. But we'll take a closer look at his head articulation. He is on a ball joint. It's a little bit stiff coming out of the packaging, but he can move his head up and down and from side to side at any angle, so he can get any sort of looking pose that you desire there. But I just want to point this out, guys, before I get into the rest of the articulation, is that he does come with these alternate arms. So they are the same color as his suit he is wearing underneath the coat. So you can actually pop these arms out and take the coat off of him and replace it with the suit jacket arms and pop the hands back in, so that you can recreate a Dr. Loomis without the trench coat on. So if you want to recreate more of a look from the first Halloween movie where he wasn't wearing the coat in some of the scenes, you can do that. So before I do that, I'm going to take a closer look at the articulation here on these arms, which they will be the same, but they are on a ball joint swivel, so they can go up and out at the shoulder. These are very stiff coming out of the packaging, guys, but a lot of NECA's figures are notorious for being stiff the joints when they do first come out of the packaging, but they go out almost at a 90-degree angle, but not quite because of the coat, and forward and back. But there is not quite a double jointed elbow there, but just a single jointed, but it does look pretty decent within the sculpting of the coat. As you can see, they're very stiff, guys, and it does swivel out like that, like so. And he does have a wrist swivel that can go from side to side and inward and outward. Now, I did notice that Loomis did not come with any additional hands, so these are the only two hands that you get with Dr. Loomis, aside from his single right hand that is shown holding the lighter that he used to ignite the room and cause the explosion at the end. But you do only get these two matching hands that are sort of a relaxed, semi-open grip. He can grip the revolver with the trigger in this hand if you should so choose to do that. But at the end of the movie, he did give the revolver to Laurie, who shot Michael in the eyes twice. So if you wanted to take this coat off and recreate maybe something from the first Halloween film where he shot him 6 times, we hear that over and over again.
I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart.
Can't have gotten very far. Come on.
I shot him 6 times.
You can do that, but Dr. Loomis did come with 2 revolvers, and I was hoping to see some sort of difference in the 2, but I'm not really seeing much of a difference. They do look identical to me. If you guys know of any difference there in these 2, or why they included these 2, maybe they're different somehow, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear some insight on that. Maybe if you wanted to give one to Laurie and then have Dr. Loomis hang on to one if you were recreating something from the first Halloween, that's probably where that would come into play. But I'm going to get these arms popped off, get his trench coat off, and get the new arms replaced so that you guys can see what that looks like. So stay tuned. All right, guys, now we have Loomis's trench coat off and the arms replaced. They did pop out and pop back in pretty easily. So now we have a good recreation of Dr. Loomis in his brown suit, and we can recreate some scenes from the first Halloween from '78. And I did go ahead and put his revolver there in his hand. So now we'll take a look at the rest of the articulation. The arms are just basically identical to the other arms as far as articulation goes. So they do have that shoulder that can pop up and down like that, and forward and back. And he does have another single jointed elbow instead of a double jointed elbow. And the wrist swivels are the same on both. So the bottom of the coat here is that soft rubbery plastic, and you can see that his tie is sculpted in with the rest of his shirt. But he does appear to have a torso swivel, a ball joint there, so you can kind of get some crunch a little bit on the ab area. And he does have a side-to-side waist swivel as well, but it's kind of restricted with the way this coat is made. You don't get too much action there on that. The legs here, the hips are at a ball joint, so you can get about that much range of motion there out to the side, forward and back, a little bit there. But you have pretty good options as far as your angles go there. And he does have a single jointed knees on both of the legs there. And there's an ankle rocker. It's a little bit restricted by the hard sculpt at the bottom of the pant legs, but he can get an inward and outward with the feet, and a side to side, and a slight forward and back, again within the restrictions of these hard plastic molded pant legs. Another all overall look. But there is Dr. Loomis, guys. And next we'll take a look at Michael, but I did want to point out this awesome hospital background here that did come inside of the box. It was the background, the cardboard insert that shows some period hospital equipment and some of the oxygen tanks here in the background. So I thought that was really cool. That makes a very awesome display piece for these figures, should you display them like that. But now we'll take a look at Michael himself. And again, he seems to be the same sculpt as the Halloween 2 from a couple years ago, Ultimate Michael Myers that we got. The paint is definitely different. It looks a little bit more shinier than before, but we'll bring it in a lot closer here. And as you can see, we have the bullet holes where he was shot by Loomis at the end of the first Halloween movie. Good detail there, and as you can see, some of the wounds there and blood on the back as well. But there's Michael, and down to the detail on the laces on his boots as well, and the bottom treads there as well on the boots. But yeah, definitely the paint job on the coverall seems to be a little bit shinier than the previous Ultimate Michael Myers. We'll take a closer look at the face sculpt here. As you can see, it's that more flat, wider look that Dick Warlock had for his portrayal of Michael. And as you can see the light in there, guys, you can actually see the eyes through the mask if you take a close look with the light there, and which there are some times within the film that you can see Michael's eyes like that in the film. So I thought that was really good detail for them to include that as well. We'll take a quick look at the alternate head. This is the Blood Tears head, and the eyes in this really pop out under the bright light. You can really see them good, and it was pretty much like at the end of the film whenever he was looking up and his eyes were bleeding. You could see his eyes through the mask there. But take a closer look at the texture of the paint here and the detail on the mask. And we're able to capture those creases and deterioration marks on that original mask really good going down the side, as you can see there, guys. Now, interesting point of detail here, you can see this red blood spot here. That is a detail from the first Halloween film whenever Laurie stabbed Michael in the neck with the knitting needle. This is a callback to that moment in that film, and it is on this mask as well. You can see it there, guys, on the side. So there's his alternate head. Take a quick look. We have the skull, the pumpkin skull, which is a throwback to the artwork, the movie poster of the original Halloween 2 movie poster. So it was cool for them to include that. Now, the original one from a couple of years ago, the Ultimate Michael Myers, came with a pumpkin that would actually split open and reveal the skull inside, like the opening credits of the film. And Michael comes with the hammer that he used. I believe that was on the security guard in the film. He has the syringe that he used on the doctor, and then I think it was in his eye. And then the nurse that came in, he used the syringe on the side of her head. He comes with the long serrated edge knife that he used at the beginning of the film. And toward the end of the film, his weapon of choice became this surgical scalpel. Take a look at the alternate hands that he does come with. As far as a right hand, he comes with this open palmed hand. Sort of like at the end when he was sort of grabbing at his eyes. Comes with a slightly semi-open grip, so he can grip maybe the hammer in that hand. As far as the left hands go, he has the semi-open grip where he could grip the hammer or the surgical scalpel. But I would say that this more closed grip would be more more suited for the smaller surgical scalpel. Let's see. Perfect. That is the perfect grip for that accessory. All right, and he does also come with these flame effects that go onto various parts of his body. He comes with that large one that goes over his chest and torso, and then some of these other smaller flame effects that do go over his arms and legs to recreate the scene where he did stumble out of the exploded hospital room on fire. So as far as articulation goes, looks like the head is a typical NECA ball joint, so we can get side to side and up and down at any angle within the restrictions of his sculpted clothes. And he does have the same shoulder articulation as Loomis, the shoulder joint where his arms can go out almost at a 90-degree angle, but not quite, and then forward and back at any angle. And he does have a double jointed elbow, unlike Loomis. So you can get quite a bit of bend there. You can see the first joint is up here, and the second cut is down here. Same way with the other arm, and on both hands he does have the wrist swivel, so from side to side. And looks like he doesn't have the forward and back. Let's pop that out. Yeah, it is just the peg in there, so he can get, well, he can get a little bit of up and down here, as you can see, but that's about it. All right, he has no, well, there may be a little bit of a torso, a ball jointed torso bend underneath these coveralls. As you can see, it has a little bit of give to it, but I'm not sure why that was included, because his coveralls are sculpted to cover all of that and would restrict that movement. His hips are on a typical ball joint. You can get a pretty good range of motion there, almost 90 degrees. Not sure why you'd need to do that for Michael, but it is there. And get forward and back within the confines of this. As you can see, this pocket is sculpted down over the back of the leg, so not much really forward and back, but Michael's a stiff moving guy, so that's okay. And he does have a single jointed knee here, so he can go back about that far. Again, Michael doesn't need that much dynamic articulation. He's not really a dynamically moving character, so that works just fine. And we have ankle rockers on the feet. He can get a little forward and back, but again, like Loomis, these hard, rigid, sculpted pant legs at the bottom sort of restrict how far forward that the toes can go and how far back. It seems to be just enough to get him to stand on his own without falling over like that. So guys, stay tuned. I'm going to see if I can pop on a few of these flame effects and show you what that looks like. And I may go ahead and switch out the head with the blood tears as well. Stay tuned, guys. And here is what Michael looks like with his head replaced with the blood tears mask. And I replaced both hands as well, so to recreate the end of the scene where he was bleeding from his eyes and grabbing at his face here and then swinging wildly with the scalpel. So I think that's the best look for this particular Michael, since it is Halloween 2. And I will keep this extra normal Michael head on standby as well. But now, guys, let's get some of those flame effects on and take a look. All right, guys, and finally here is Michael with all of the attached flame effects on. He has the large one that clips around his the majority of the front of his torso. He has one here that will clip in the bend of his arm, one that covers his face, and two that clip around his legs just like that. Not really a fan of these particular flame effects. Recreating that scene from the movie, I would rather show him recreating the last part where he was shot in the eyes and bleeding the tears with the scalpel. I think that's the way that I will display, but I wanted to show you guys how that he does display with the flame effects on him as well. Guys, if you like this video, I would appreciate it if you would please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out and supports the video. And also don't forget to share this out to your fellow toy collecting and horror movie Halloween fans. And also, most importantly, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified anytime that I upload a new video to the Pop Complex. Guys, you don't want to miss a single one. So thanks for watching again, guys, and remember,
the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.